Okay, welcome to another week of option trading. I don't have a intro slide, but people probably don't care about that. So I am on vacation. I'm at a campground and it's about ready to rain. I'm sitting outside a picnic table and I'm going to try to get this done quickly. So for the option trades that ended the week ending the 17th of July here. So the trades I made were from the 14th through the 17th. So apparently I did not make any trades on the 13th, which was Monday, which makes sense because I was driving and I don't know what happened on the market on Monday. I can't remember that far back. But anyhow, once again, I gotta make this quick. I closed these trades here. Let's highlight them, see how much we made for the week. So we made $975. So that's not bad considering that I rolled forward a Netflix cash card put that I had, $80 strike price, and Netflix is trading at about 68.75 right now, so that's not good. And I also, if you've been following me right along, I had these four Robinhood. There are two different accounts here. That's why there's two different entries here. So one is in an IRA and the other one is in a Roth IRA. And so I got two contracts in each. And originally they were cover calls for 85 strike price. Robinhood was being a dog and not doing well. So I did 85 cover call and then it shot up and it went way up to like 100. And I was able to roll those forward about a month ago, and I was able to go from an 85 strike price to a 90 strike price. Well, then price of Robinhood on Friday closed at right about $99. So because of that, I was going to just let them expire. But then I looked at what the premium would be and everything. So I actually rolled those forward again. But what I did, I was able to raise the strike price to 95. So I went from the strike price of 85 up to 95, and my basis is at 99 for both of those. I need to double check that. I guess that's about right. Yeah, I think that's about right. So anyhow, I'm getting closer to what my basis is. So if Robinhood can kind of just go sideways for the next month or actually dip down below 95, I'd probably be happy. If it goes maybe to 105 or whatever, well, it's going to do what it's going to do. But anyhow, in another month, I could maybe roll this forward again and hopefully jump the strike price up $100 and then also get a credit. So what you don't see on here is that I received a credit for this actually. But closing on the close, I lost 300 on each of those contracts. But if I come down here, if I let those go to zero next month, my premium that I will have earned is 24.80. So that would be pretty good. If I would have let those just expire this month, I would have had a good credit here, but I would have lost money on the price of the shares being like from 99 to 90. So $1,000 contract, I would have lost $4,000 there. So now I have cut that strike price, and if you know options, you understand what I'm saying, I think. So I'm actually starting to get rained on right now. I'm on vacation in Nova Scotia area. Actually, I'm in New Brunswick, Canada right now, and I want to keep these weekly updates coming. So let's see what else we got going on here. I got assigned a few things here. So Lyft, I think I finally got those taken away. I was doing cover calls for the longest time, and I think the price finally went up above where it needs to be. And let's see, I had $15 strike price. My basis was 15.19, so I lost a little bit on the price per share, but on this contract I made 165, so I'm okay with that. And then I had one contract on the double leverage SpaceX. That's interesting. So one contract, I had a $21 strike price, thinking SpaceX was going to go up. Well, I earned all that premium, but the problem is I got assigned. SpaceX is trading at 13.12, so I'm at about $800 about in the hole for that. So what I'll do is just I don't know if I can do cover calls at 21 and make any premium or not. So I might just have to just sit on those for a while, see what happens. And who knows, maybe I'll just buy 100 shares extra of SpaceX. That will bring my cost basis down to like maybe 17. And then I can do cover calls like at 18 or something. Make some premium on the cover calls. And if I get them taken away, I'll make a little bit on the price appreciation of the average price. And then let's see, my Amazon cover call here expired. It got up to like 35.50. but my strike price was 36.80. And let's see what else I got. Oh, this iron. So let's talk about this one. Then I'm going to wrap it up real quick because it is raining. So I will get assigned 100 shares at $40. And so I got to keep all the premium here, the 253. So kind of, whoop-de-doo on that one. And it's trading at 33.62. What I did, I went ahead and let's go back here for a minute. This IoT cash record put, I actually closed that a little bit early, and because I want to free up this collateral in this account. And then with that 6,000 approximately, I had a little more than that in that account. I bought 200 shares of Iron, if I'm saying this right, Iron at about $33 per share, and it's trading at 33.62. It actually went up after close on Friday. But what my plan is to do is, so my average price will be, I got 100 shares at 40 and I got 200 shares at like 33. So my average would be like 35 or 36. I don't know. I'll find out Monday. What I'll do is do cover calls at about 38 or so and then get some premium on that. And I really think this will bounce back up and get back in the 40s. So I'll make premium cover call and then hopefully I'll make money on the price appreciation on those average. I don't do that too often, buy shares to do cover calls, but I think that is an opportunity. I've been watching it for quite some time, and they have some deals with Microsoft for data centers and some different things. I know data centers are getting a bad rap, but eventually they're going to be built more and more, and I think that the controversy of data centers will die down a little bit, but I could be wrong. And this is not trying to create any controversy. It's just what I think. So let's see what else we got. So I did go ahead and do a few cash card puts on TQQQ. I need to get back to what has made me money in the past, and that's like TQQQ, NVDL, and like UPRO. So I need to go back to sticking with the indexes, sticking with the Mag 7, and then not messing around with some of these other ones quite as much. So what I'll probably do too is that if I highlight this collateral here, you see I have $199,000 in collateral. I actually started, I won't say I started with like, a few thousand. And then once I decided to start doing this to create income to supplement my retirement, I had like 180,000 in this account or these accounts, or I call it a bucket that I was trading with. And that has actually grown. So that 199,000 is just collateral on these right here. I also have a bunch of shares, and it's hard to say because I did some extra ones, but I've closed some things here. I'm probably like at 240,000 now because this account has grown with the premium I've made. And I think I did an update here back at the end of June here, and I've made almost 50,000 in premium for the year so far. So I'm heading for $100,000 year in premium if it keeps going like it is. And my problem is I've set some limits on how much I want to use as collateral for each ETF or company. So I kind of determined like 10,000, no more than 10,000 for one company. So that would give me like 20 tickers and like doing like 5% total of any one ticker toward ETFs for trading options. I don't know if I said that right or not, but I'm getting wet, so I gotta wrap this up. So, but this account has grown, so I may purge a little money out of here and get that back to like 180,000 because I'm kind of having trouble finding. I'm kind of forcing trades, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I got the money sitting there in cash. I don't like it sitting in cash, so I kind of like look around and I say, oh, okay, let's try this one for cover call or PTIR, which might be okay, or BITX. So these are kind of more speculative, trying to get some extra premium from that. Eventually, I'll get these Robinhood calls back, and that's a lot of money here. That's like 38,000 in collateral I got tied up, and that actually more. It's actually 40,000 because I got my call spaces is 99. So eventually that turned back into cash, and I may scale this back a little bit and still shoot for my $5,000 per month in premium, but just try to do it with less money and then stick with the indexes. When I mean indexes, I mean TQQQ, UPRO, and stick with the Mag 7, like the NVDL double leverage, Microsoft double leverage, and somewhere there's Meta. Here's Meta, maybe TSLL. That's been giving me some good stuff. Carnival Cruise Lines has been pretty consistent, kind of steady up and down. So I'll probably stick with that. And I don't know about Robinhood anymore, but one that I don't see on here, but I closed this week. I got SoFi up here. I did cover call. I closed that one, or it expired, or one of the two. So I may continue trading that a little bit too. So anyhow, I'm going to wrap this up. And once again, we made about $900 even with these losses here. 975 to be exact. So I'm on the road for a couple weeks, traveling, vacationing, and I'll, try to get these videos out every week. It depends on where we're at. Might be a couple days late, but we'll see what we can do. And appreciate everybody who watches, and we'll see you in the next video.